Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News with Kim and Lisa. Last night, we bid farewell to probably one of the best seasons in Real Housewives of Orange County history.
Oh my God. It was such a riveting reunion. And this last hour, I could not look away. And who do we have to thank for that? Shannon Storm Spador. Her and Alexis continue to go head and head. I think we all know who came out on top with that one. And Emily was a close second.
She certainly was. We also got a major update on her lawsuit with Johnny J last night on Instagram, along with a lot of details that don't quite add up. So let's get into it. You and I are going to put on our FBI hats, a la Tamara Judge, and dive into it all. But before we do, make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any Bravo breaking news. In case you missed it, we are also recapping Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So make sure you tune into that every Wednesday right here on YouTube and Spotify.
Oh, man, we are really just getting such good television this week. I don't know what we've done to deserve it, but I am here for it. I need it. It's coming at a fantastic time. And I couldn't love it more. So we pick back up with Alexis v. Shannon and the whole, you're a TV star. Oh, yes, I forgot. You've been on TV for 15 years. And right out the gate, Andy says, Shannon, you said that it's the most important thing for John is that people think he's a good guy. And she's like, yes, absolutely. And we've all seen this. And it's just so like infuriating because he is making himself look like not a good guy. John, if you would just stay the fuck away, we wouldn't think about you. We wouldn't know about you. No one would think twice. So it's you, dude. You are the problem. It's you.
I mean, this whole episode was proof of that. We will get into the non-disparagement agreement here shortly. But, Alexis just keeps saying, the lies, the lies, the lies. Shannon, you are spewing lies about John Jansen. We've said this before. I will say it again. Everybody else on the couches were saying this. What lies? What other than Shannon paying for the first half of their relationship has she said that is so damaging?
Right.
It's ridiculous. And then Alexis tries to, of course, play the victim, pull out the numbers, say that they've done this forensic accounting, which is such an interesting term I've never heard before. So serious. And she says that, he spent $350,000 on their relationship as a whole, et cetera, et cetera. He just wants money for the loan. What does this have to do with Shannon speaking poorly of John? It's just nothing adds up. Cue Lisa Rinna meme with the math problem. The math isn't mathing. Nothing that Alexis is saying is making sense. Shannon never said anything that bad. John is digging his own grave.
Yeah, and Andy even points out that last year at the reunion, Shannon was still defending him. And everyone else was saying, Shannon, this guy's not good. This is not good for you. And she was still sticking up for him. So what has she said that is so bad that, he has to be protected from big bad Shannon? I'm just
terrible.
I'm sorry. We're both just activated right now because watching it, I was enraged whenever Alexis would talk because she doesn't fucking make sense. First of all, she's saying, and I'm going to jump around a little bit, but she's like, with the videos, I forgot that we were filming. I thought you were a TV star. I thought you'd been on TV for 15 years. You know how this works, all right? You know there's cameras around at all times. You know they're filming at all times. Then she's saying, no, she never offered to pay the full amount. Yes, she did. And it's like, Alexis, you're sitting here calling Shannon a liar. The call's coming from inside the house, all right? You need to take a look in the fucking mirror because that's what a liar looks like.
Oh my, so enraging, this woman. Emily said it best. You are the dumbest person I have ever met. No words have ever been truer than that statement because Alexis, I can't with her. I never want to see her again. But then pops up another confessional of John and Alexis. And once again, John thinks that he is sitting in this confessional chair to clear his name and make him look like the hero. But sorry, dude, it is literally doing the complete opposite. He, once again, is saying that him and Alexis have a real relationship. It's organic. That he was single for a year before they got together. Now, Shannon immediately pulls out the receipts from her mind, but she's like, you were texting me 2 months before you got together with her saying that you loved me. They were hooking up. They were intimate. They were going on vacation. Like, this is not facts. Like, yes, maybe they broke up and then, maybe never officially got back together, but that was their relationship. I will give him credit. He says it was tumultuous. Yes, we all know they got in fights that paralyzed them. But just because they weren't official boyfriend and girlfriend does not mean that he wasn't with Shannon just mere months.
It doesn't make him single.
Even. No, it doesn't make him single. She has no leg to stand on. And it was just infuriating to see him try to diminish their 5-year relationship and try to claim that his relationship with Alexis was 100% organic. I will never believe that.
No one's ever going to believe that, Kim. I don't know why he thinks we're all idiots. Maybe it's because he surrounds himself with them, but not one person believes that, John. And I felt so bad for Shannon in this moment when he said, I'd been single for a year. And she was just like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, in what world? In what world would you call that single? And then Alexis tries to say, oh, they were just friends with benefits. Okay, if you're in a 5-year relationship and maybe you break up a few times, but you end up getting back together or start hanging out again, I'm sorry, that's not just friends with benefits. And I just really hope that she never experiences this side of John because he's a world-class piece of shit.
But I mean, Alexis deserves what she's getting.
No, you're right. You're right.
On the show, from John, and in real life. I don't know if you saw her very lengthy Instagram post that she posted last night or this morning, but she has, probably written 1,000-word essay as to why she is a victim. She is playing the victim. This season has been so hard for me. Yes, she lost her mom a few months right before filming. But again, she made this choice to go on. She made the choice to date John Jansen. She's blaming it on editing. She didn't know that she was going to be portrayed as the villain. How stupid do you have to be? It is so obvious how just your mere life circumstances will make you the villain going into this season, going into trying to be, in the same room as this cast and Shannon Beador. It is just, you put yourself in this situation and these circumstances, and talk about taking accountability. People are saying, oh, Shannon maybe didn't take accountability. Shannon 1,000% took accountability. The person that's not taking any accountability for any of her actions is Alexis. And, mic drop. That's it.
Well, when they cast Real Housewives, the producers aren't saying, okay, we're going to bring you on and your role is going to be the villain. No, that's not how it works. So I didn't know I was going to be the villain. No one knows that coming into the show. You just come on and see how things go.
Well, and she's still saying that there are scenes of her that would vindicate her and make us not hate her. Show us the scenes. Where are the scenes? Let's see it. Let's see it, Alexis. I'm ready.
Did you notice that she mixed up Jim and John's names? Jim Bellino, her ex-husband, and John.
I did not. When did she do this?
Oh my gosh. She was talking about, I don't know, vacation or something. And she said, Jim and I went here. John and I went, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh. And
what? I bet that happens in the bedroom too. I will just say it now. Not that we want to picture that, but Did you also catch this side convo between Emily and Tamara? There were like a lot of side convos going on. We got these, cut to like 4 different women's reactions, like a lot during this reunion. But, Emily's like, how can you be friends with this woman? Like, why are you friends with her? She has a big heart. No, she doesn't. Like, I don't know how you can do this. And then Tamara's like, well, you're friends with her too. And Emily says, I'm socially friends with her.
Yeah.
And then we get Heather chiming in saying, well, you brought her on the show. And Emily saying, I regret it. So does this mean that Emily is responsible for Alexis Bellino being on the show?
Did we not already know that? Was that a big reveal?
I don't know. I kind of thought it was Tamara that brought her back. I do know that Emily and Alexis's kids go to the same school. I have a friend in Orange County that sees them at some school events because her kid also goes to the same school. So I think that's what she means by social friends. If that's the case, Emily, that's a slap on your wrist. I'm sorry. You should have known what was going to happen. I don't think that she could have foreseen the circumstances and the lawsuit and like the gravity of what was about to happen. But I know she regrets it. She, at this point, hates Alexis's guts.
Yeah.
It's very clear. And I love how she's standing up for Shannon. But that was a revelation to me.
I guess you're right. I think I did assume it was Tamara, especially because Emily wasn't particularly it's not like she was hanging out with Alexis at the beginning. I think we got that one scene where she went to talk to her before dinner to kind of try and say like, hey, you need to like tone it down in front of Shannon. But other than that, they didn't really have any like moments together. So I don't know. But she certainly wants nothing to do with her now. When she says, okay, let's say bye to Alexis Bellino and hope that I never see her again. Oh, is that a dumpster over there? I bet she's over there hanging out in the dumpster. And then the trash truck's going to come pick it up and I won't ever have to see her again.
Yeah, peep my Instagram post. I did Photoshop Alexis and John in the dumpster. I had to, guys. I had to. It's just too perfect. Okay, but back to the loan lawsuit. Okay, let's talk about the promissory note because that is obviously something that came up that kind of put Shannon in a bad light. We're like, whoa. Okay, did you sign a promissory note? Did you know this was a loan? So the fact that John, I guess, sent her a promissory note after he had already given her the money, number one, doesn't quite make it valid. And number two, we see an email back from Shannon. She was totally in shock receiving this note. She did not think of it this way. She did not want to sign it. She did not see this as a business transaction. And these words, I think, are what like John is holding on to.
Yeah.
She says like, I'm insulted. This was not a business transaction. This was merely a boyfriend loaning money to his girlfriend.
Right.
Now, I think she was saying this like loaning money. Okay. I don't think that she meant literally a loan.
Right.
I think that she just meant giving money to your significant other as a favor. Right.
Yeah.
And I think those words came back to bite her in the ass, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's hanging on to. And Alexis is hanging on to, saying there's proof that Shannon knew it was a loan. But absolutely, if you read the whole note and you get the context, you understand that she's saying loaning in terms of like giving or borrowing money, but like not with an not being expected to like pay that back, and certainly not with interest and late fees. Like, sorry, this is not Wells fucking Fargo. Okay, this is John Jansen and his girlfriend Shannon Bador. So I thought that this was, I don't know. I think ultimately for me, maybe I'm biased, but it went in Shannon's favor, those notes, because it's clear he said wire sent. And then later he said, also sent you a simple promissory note. That was out of nowhere. They clearly had not discussed it prior to him sending the money. And so, like Emily said, you can't send it after the fact. Then then everyone would do that. Like, oh, here's $15, go buy lunch. And then afterwards, like, oh, by the way, here's a note promising that you'll pay me back that $15, right? Like, no, life doesn't work that way. So I think even though she used that word loan, I think it's clear when you see the message that that's not what she had signed up for.
And John says in the confessional that he told her he would need her to pay him back, and she said yes. But at this point, I literally can't believe anything that he says because let's now, okay, so the promissory note is one situation. The non-disparagement agreement is a whole nother fucking bomb because I can't get over this. Apparently, he would not accept Shannon's initial offer before the season started to pay him in full for this lawsuit because of the non-disparagement agreement. So, first of all, I thought that Alexis was saying that Shannon had offered to pay him but did not want to sign the non-disparagement agreement, right? That would make sense. And then he was like, well, I need you to sign it. Then I believe it becomes clear that she, in fact, did agree to pay the full amount and sign the non-disparagement agreement before the season even aired, or filmed, which meant that she would not be able to talk about him. But he didn't accept it in the case that she might have broken the agreement during filming. Can we get this straight?
No, now I believe in a math meme because I couldn't keep it straight. And I think that Alexis and John are just full of shit. I think he did time it so that it was on camera. They also talked about that. Even Katie and Jen agreed, who are, friends with Alexis, that the timing was suspicious. And honestly, it doesn't really fucking matter. What ended up happening is he made himself look way worse than she ever could have. Okay. So by not signing this non-disparagement or whatever, or dragging this out, John, it backfired majorly.
It's so bad. None of this worked out well for him. Shannon, looks better than ever. Meanwhile, he's in the dumpster with Alexis. It's just, none of this makes any sense. If she agreed to sign the non-disparagement, she wouldn't have talked about him. He wouldn't have been a point of interest on the show. And then the fact that he drugged this out proves that he wanted the chance to have all of this on camera, sit in that confessional chair, talk about it, disparage Shannon, bring up these so-called lies.
Right.
It's just, your actions and your words are not adding up. None of this makes any sense. Therefore, I don't know. I'm done. I'm so done with them.
No, and the thing is, had he not decided to start the lawsuit after filming, I don't think Shannon would have talked about him at all. I think she would have been annoyed that Alexis was there. I think Alexis probably would have tried to, bring him up or whatever. But I think Shannon would have just, for the most part, I'm blocking you out. I am tuning you out. I cannot take you on at the moment. And that would have been it. But instead, he inserted himself into this season by bringing in that lawsuit to light. And so I don't know. Alexis keeps saying, Shannon, you need to move on. And even Andy is like, she has moved on. She's trying to move on. You're the one who keeps bringing him up. What is not registering?
It's so bad. And then we get to the videos. Now, John alleges that he never had any intention of releasing the videos. Nobody will see them, but he thinks that Shannon should see them to see how much of a monster she is. And then, like you said, we have Alexis being like, well, I didn't, mean to bring them up. I didn't know I was being filmed. Once again, every single word that comes out of this woman's mouth is just, I don't know if she's lying on purpose or she really believes that because she is truly that dumb.
Well, and then we also caught her in another lie when someone pointed out, "Oh, you used to call your husband my king." And she's like, "No, I didn't like walk around saying my king, my king." And then roll tape, she's in a confessional, in prior seasons saying, "He's my king. He doesn't change
Oh my
diapers.
God.
He's my king."
That must have been an extended scene on Peacock. I did not see that.
Oh,
That is hilarious.
yeah, yeah. Someone called it out to her and she's like, "I didn't run around calling him my king." Yeah, you did. You did. And they showed the receipts.
Oh, okay. So, okay, that's enough about Alexis and Shannon for now. Can we talk about Tamara and Shannon? Because I don't know how I feel about this so-called makeup between them.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that the tide was kind of shifting when Alexis was out on stage because Tamara interjected a few times, kind of defending Shannon, and that was interesting. And I think Emily saying to Tamara, "How are you friends with this woman?" I think over and over again, Tamara was kind of like, "Yeah, this is bad. Like, she's not good." And so I think Tamara softened a little bit and ultimately realized, who knows? You never know if it's like what her heart really wants or if she thinks it's just what's best for the show. But she definitely softened and was, kind of sticking up for Shannon. And I think that really meant a lot to Shannon in that moment because that was fucking rough.
I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. Tamra was too quiet this part 3 reunion, like eerily quiet. She really had nothing to say after having Alexis's back all season. Like, I get it. It's better that she didn't interject herself, but that's not Tamra. It's almost like Dorit. Like, this is not who we know you to be. Like, this is not who we know Tamra to be. Did she take some sort of beta blocker a la Paige DeSorbo this reunion or something to like calm her? Because as the day progressed, it seemed like she just kind of, really let all the air out. She did not interject once. And you know who else isn't buying it is Jen, because she called it. I did not catch this moment. I saw it on social media this morning. But while Tamara and Shannon are hugging it out, Jen's like, well, this is the part that Tamara's going to say she loves her and she was doing it because she was concerned. And then literally those exact words came out of Tamara's mouth. Like, Jen clocked it. She's been there. She's done that. Shannon, don't fall for this. Please do not get involved with Tamara again. She's just going to do the same thing again. I don't care if she's going to therapy. I don't know. I truly don't know if this woman will ever change.
I don't know. Yes, definitely proceed with caution for sure. But I also thought maybe Tamara was so quiet because she was embarrassed that she had Alexis's back and was kind of on Alexis's side throughout the season. Maybe it was dawning on her that she was on the wrong side of history. Again, I don't know if it's, her true conscience speaking or if it's her thinking, Alexis, there's no fucking way she's coming back on this show, so I better switch sides, and sort of save my job. I don't know. None of us will ever know. But I mean, I'm happy that there was some resolution only because I don't want more contention for Shannon.
Yes. We want her to live in a positive light and a positive way. She's been through enough. Like, leave this woman alone. She needs some like support and positivity. And I guess she kind of gets that when we cut to, okay, we think the reunion is over. They cheers with the espresso martinis. 36 hours later, the cameras are back up. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what we were going to see. This was not like part of, I never saw that this actually happened. But Heather, Gina, Emily, and Shannon gather at Emily's house and they have some big bombshell to drop. Okay.
Yeah.
So Heather comes in, shares that her, Tamra, and Alexis and the men went to dinner together after that finale party. And John shared that he actually heard the crash. Now, this was something that Shannon was super worried about all season. She was questioning it. She even sat down with Heather and was talking to her specifically about this. Meanwhile, I guess Heather didn't know that at that point, but they've held on to this for months. They gather together. Tamara even shows up to talk to her about this. I guess he heard the crash. He went to run after her. His daughter stopped him and said, "Don't go after her." I don't know about all this. What are your thoughts about this?
It's really dark because I don't care what, like, I don't care if you're in a fight. I don't care what just occurred. If you hear a car crash and you think it's someone who you know that's involved, I don't care if it's my enemy. I'm going to go see if they're okay. I understand that John's daughter was probably very upset in the moment, and she probably looked out and then, she said she saw Shannon drove off. So she thought, well, it couldn't have been that bad. But I still think that's pretty upsetting that, he didn't go out to see that she was okay. And that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. And I think it just shows what kind of person he truly is.
Well, and then we have Tamara going, "He also says that you punched him." And what? And then Shannon kind of starts spiraling. She's crying. She says she doesn't remember what goes on that night. I want to ask you, what was the purpose of this scene? I know that in a way, maybe Shannon feels vindicated that John heard the crash, but I feel like it only brought more hurt to Shannon. Now we know that she punched John or allegedly punched John that night, which we didn't know before, and Tamara decided to bring up on camera. Why did we need this scene? So the consensus online is that this was a way for Tamara and Heather to get back in the good graces of viewers. Maybe they filmed the reunion. They saw how people were acting online, and they saw how Shannon and Alexis reacted at the reunion and were like, okay, maybe we need to go more on Shannon's side and support her. I didn't feel that this was supportive.
So it definitely didn't feel supportive in the beginning. And if anything, I think it painted Tamara and Heather in kind of a bad light because they had been holding on to this piece of information. They didn't share it at the reunion, which would have been the appropriate place to share it, because if they heard it at the finale, okay, maybe they weren't talking between the finale and the reunion filming, but they should have brought it up then. So I don't know why all of a sudden 36 hours later, they're like, you know what, we should tell her. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, but I do think the point of it probably was to rally around Shannon at the end, because they really did that. And Shannon started spiraling and saying, this is going to be bad. This was a really bad moment of my life, the lowest point in my life. And they all start saying, but Shannon, it was one incident. That does not define who you are. You are a good person. You're a good mom. Yes, you made some poor decisions that night, and probably some poor decisions in the past as well, but you're not a bad person. And then they really ended with, this big group hug and sort of lifting her up. So I don't know. I'd love to hear from a producer about what the plan was here and why they decided to do this.
Yeah, it is very interesting that they held on to this information and decided to pick cameras back up. I don't know, maybe Shannon wanted it out there, that John did hear the crash, because she knew what Heather was going to say before they sat down.
Yeah.
Maybe she wanted everybody to know this. And once again, she hadn't resolved the lawsuit with John yet in this moment. So it once again proves that John is a shitty person and he belongs in that dumpster, like Emily said. So I don't know.
And Shannon is so fucking strong. Like, literally, how much can one person take? And she keeps getting back up and is like, I'm going to use another Taylor Swift quote, like, you wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me. Nothing can take her down. And I am super proud of how she handled herself this season. I think, Alexis was trying to say she hasn't taken any accountability. I think she has taken accountability. I think she is working on herself. I think she is working on her relationship with alcohol. Is it perfect? No. Does she still have some work to do? Yes. But I think she's taking steps in the right direction.
I agree. That gave me chills. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't know this person that well. I have met her a couple times, but I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of how she handled this season. I would have just like melted and like been in the fetal position in a corner with how much that she had to take this season. I wouldn't have survived. But not only did she survive, she thrived. She owned that reunion. She didn't back down. She told her truth. And I think it is the truth because nothing that Alexis and John are saying adds up or makes sense. And I think that Shannon should be really, really proud with how things ended up, even though she did share last night that she has paid John the full settlement. Not full though, 60,000, which is not the 75. Don't know how they ended up there. 60,000 plus, I'm sure, a lot of legal fees. But at the end of the day, I just think she's glad that it's over and that she can move on and we can all move on because bravo, we will not. Yes, I did say at the beginning this was one of the best seasons of OC, but we do not need to see this again. We do not need Alexis and John anywhere near this franchise in the future.
No, they can go be on one of the other 4 shows that Alexis has been on, except not Below Deck. Don't put them on Below Deck either because I watch that. But they can go be on a show that I don't watch.
Go on Marriage Boot Camp, which is the longest running show that Alexis was on. And let's just say it didn't end up well for her and Jim. So, oh my gosh. So that's it. That's this season of OC. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our recaps. Make sure to drop a comment and let us know what you thought of this season. And make sure to tune into our Beverly Hills recaps. We'll be on here every Wednesday to talk about all the drama going on in Beverly Hills.
Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.